So then as we move forward, Tony Khan makes another big announcement for Collision. And this is the one that we've all been waiting for. This is the one that we've wanted him to say and not save till June 17th. Khan is backstage and says tonight's announcement is that the debut edition of AEW Collision will feature CM Punk. This got both loud cheers and some boos from the live crowd in San Diego, but they finally did it. They finally announced it. They finally stated Punk is coming back and will be on Collision and will be on the first episode of Collision in, how many weeks is that? 2 weeks? In 2 weeks. 2 weeks from this Saturday is the first episode of Collision. We all knew it was going to happen. There was the little, quote, hiccup when Punk threw a hissy fit over Ace Steel. We don't know what that situation really is, but what are your thoughts on Punk coming back and being on the first episode of Collision? Do you think it's going to be like a Rampage thing where you hype him up on the first episode and then he means nothing for that show going forward? Or is this going to be different because he's not supposed to be on Dynamite, only Collision?
I feel like having Punk on that first show, probably just trying to, AEW just trying to have him on that first show to like boost up the ratings for the first show.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, hey, this show's important. We got CM Punk on the first ever episode. Then could honestly just die off from there. Like, that's what I hope it's not that. Like, my other concern with Collision is I hope it doesn't affect a lot of people's indie booking dates. Because, like, that was my biggest concern with Collision. It's like, this is going to affect a lot of talents, like booking dates.
Especially Ring of Honor talent, because there's been a number of Ring of Honor talent that have been told, keep your Saturdays open. And Ring of Honor guys that don't work main roster AEW, they rely on indie bookings and signings on Saturdays. And now they may not get all of their Saturdays because as we go forward, Rampage will be filmed after or before, most likely after Dynamite episodes on Wednesdays. And then the Collision tapings will be where they film ROH or most episodes of ROH. So that's going to hurt, I think, for the most part, ROH talent possibly.
You feel like this is starting to turn into like a WWE schedule?
Not necessarily, but I get where you're coming from as far as more and more days on the road. When the whole thing with AEW and attracting talent early on was, hey, you only got to really work 1 or 2 days a week. And granted, there's going to be guys that still only have to work 1 day a week, only a Saturday or only a Wednesday. But like this weekend, I think they're going on the road. They've got house shows and stuff. So they are adding more days to the schedule.
I mean, it's like, why do you think some talent choose AEW over WWE? They can like just build their own schedule from that.
The freedom of being able to do what they want outside of the company and having those extra days off to do those extra things. So, yeah. But with Collision, I don't think it's going to die as fast as Rampage because the whole thing with Punk was on the first episode and then like no other episodes. But if Collision is what we're hearing, Punk is supposed to be on all of those episodes, not Dynamite. So it's like you can only see Punk on Collision, so you have to watch Collision if you're a Punk fan. Unlike Rampage, which was, oh, Punk's going to be on this episode of Rampage, the first Rampage, and probably never again. So that's the difference there. But I don't know. I feel like there's going to be a lot of problems with college football, and then when we get to the NFL playoffs, and then we have other sports head-to-head with it. How is Collision going to do when they go head-to-head with a WWE pay-per-view? The first one's going to be SummerSlam in August. So, and then I'm trying to think. I don't think they would go head-to-head with Money in the Bank because Money in the Bank's going to be an earlier show since it's going to be live primetime in London. But when they have to go up against SummerSlam, we'll see. I'm really going to be interested in that rating. Collision versus SummerSlam.
SummerSlam is going to destroy Collision.
Yeah, like we won't get a SummerSlam number unless Peacock puts something out, but we'll know based off of, say, the last 2 or 3 weeks of Collision, and then August 5th or 4th, whatever the date is, we'll see if that does take a big hit or not compared to what it was doing previous weeks.